Namaste, guys. ChristianRLong, Life Enhancement Consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Saturday evening here in Denver, Colorado. It is, wow, it's only 5 o'clock and it's already getting dark. Actually, aren't we now at the time that the days are getting lighter and lighter and lighter, longer? Shelly, Namaste. Good to have you on as always. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's doing well. Jose, Namaste. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So tonight's topic is a very simple topic, but a very profound one. This is how you instantly increase your energy level, and it would be the very last thing that you would intuitively think to do. So meaning it's counterintuitive. So at the end of a long day of working, the end of a long day of taking care of children, at the end of a long day of traveling, your energy level is up or down. It's typically down, right? So you're thinking to yourself, okay, intuitively, taking a nap would help. Meditating for 20 minutes would help. Taking a 5-hour energy drink would help temporarily and artificially to increase your energy level. What is something that's counterintuitive to that? Service. Service. Now, before you go all squirrely on me, hear me out. Hear me out. So we have an energy body, right? We have an aura. We have meridians or energy channels. We have chakras, right? That are of a certain size and a certain default, meaning in general, from day to day, week to week, month to month, your aura and your chakras are about the same size, right? With some exceptions. But if you want to increase your aura size and increase your chakra size, which gives you what? More energy, greater processing ability, because you have bigger things processing more energy going in and out of your system, you do service. Why? Because if you don't serve other people, the great ones, and God, the ones who supply us with energy, will give us just the amount of energy necessary to do the work of taking care of just ourselves. But if we open up our hearts and we go out and we serve and we help and we heal and we give back to other people, guess what? God, the great ones, our higher selves, provide us with more energy. And you're saying, well, wait a minute. How can I don't understand. How can I get more energy by giving out energy, right? Counterintuitive. Because through the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi that we practice in the Twin Hearts meditation, taught to us by Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui, it is in the giving that we receive. So, if you want more energy, then you give out a portion of your energy. If you want more time, Kashmir Atma Namaste, you give out a portion of your time. If you smile at somebody, guess what? The likelihood of that person or someone else smiling back to you is much, much greater. As with all spiritual truths and spiritual teachings, they are extremely, extraordinarily simple and obvious, but they are not easy to practice for a prolonged period of time. That's the key. So there's this book. It's a little teeny tiny itty bitty baby book that my teacher Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui wrote over 20 years ago. It's a compilation of different notes, his own notes as well as notes from classes and lectures that he taught over the years. And it was formed into about 7 books called the Golden Lotus Sutra series. And this particular book is one of my favorites. It's called Creative Transformation, where you use it to transform yourself from the inside out. And there's a chapter in this little tiny book on, you guessed it, service. Right here, service. So service develops the power within you. Service develops the power within you. So I want to share an interesting story about service that I heard many, many years ago, but it took me many, many years to understand it, integrate it into my life, and apply it on a regular basis. So when I was first brought onto the spiritual path with transcendental meditation in 1999, there was a book that I read called Body, Mind, and Sport. I highly recommend picking it up. Body, Mind, and Sport by Dr. John Douillard. He was a chiropractor and an Ayurvedic doctor, and he created a program called the Invincible Athletes Program, where he would train Ironmen. Robin, I'm going to say where he would train Ironmen, and he would also train, who else did he train? And he was an Ironman himself. He would train Ironmen, he would train Olympians and other high-level professional athletes. I think also a baseball team as well. And he had developed a methodology of getting into the zone while working out. You ever hear about the getting in the zone or the runner's high or feeling in the flow or using quotation marks like this all the time, right? So that was one of his ninja powers, excuse me, of helping somebody or some buddies get into the flow. And once you're in that sweet spot, I don't know where the congestion is coming from. Excuse me. So once you're in that sweet spot, everything becomes effortless. Time seems to disappear. And you have this deep, deep, deep sense of contentment and fulfillment doing the activity that you're doing, no matter if you're going a little bit, medium, or full out. And it seems like you can sustain that energy for a prolonged period of time. So in that book, Body, Mind, and Sport, he gives you the practices or the parameters, the both practices and the parameters that you want to stay within in order to get yourself in the zone. And I remember when I started, I applied it in my own life with tremendous results. And then I started working with clients. And I remember there was a gentleman who was one of the most unfit people that I'd ever met. He was very successful as a businessman, but building his business over 30 years, guess what? He didn't take very good care of his body. So he had curvature of the spine. He was hunched over like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. He had poor eyesight, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. He didn't have a lot of good things going for him physically, and even his emotional state was very compromised. So I thought to myself, I wonder if it's possible to find out where this guy is within these parameters and then help him get into a flow state just by being on the treadmill. Not cycling, not strength training, not running for miles at end, but just a process of being on the treadmill. And after 3 workouts, I used to be a personal trainer. I was actually the youngest personal trainer in my YMCA's 85-year history in Worcester, Massachusetts. It's called the Central, what do they call it? The Central YMCA on Main Street in Worcester, Massachusetts. It's still there. And so I was like always training people. At 17 years old, I was already training people in fitness and health and nutrition because I was fascinated with those aspects of life. As I've gone about my path, I've focused more on energy healing, meditation, and spirituality than so much on the physical, even though physical is very, very important. Okay? So after 3 workouts, right, I applied these principles with this gentleman after 3 workouts on the treadmill, and wouldn't you know it, he experienced the zone in the 3rd workout. He felt this exhilaration and bliss, right, going through his system that he's like, I don't know what's going on right now, but I feel amazing. You could see his eyes lighting up, his energy expanding. I didn't know too much about energy then, but knowing what I know now, looking back, his energy was expanding. And it was really, really cool. So as I reflect on that, when I went from Massachusetts learning the Transcendental Meditation technique to going out to Iowa to go to school for that, to basically get a 4-year degree in that discipline of Ayurveda, right? I had an opportunity to go from Iowa to Vancouver British Columbia, where I learned about pranic healing or hatha yoga and Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui. And then as I was going from there to Florida, I made a quick little stop into Boulder, Colorado, where Dr. John Douillard has his chiropractic practice and his Ayurvedic practice. And he offered a program. It was about, I think, a 5-day program on the invincible athletes. What made it very interesting was, I said to him, I go, well, when are you offering this program again? And he goes, you could just come down and we'll do it one-on-one. So I was like, sweet. I get to have one-on-one time with a person who inspired me to meditate, who inspired me to get into the flow with my physical exercise routine and working out. This is going to be such an honor. Well, took a very long bus ride from Vancouver, British Columbia, through Montana, into Colorado, into Boulder, and I was there for about 5 days. And I got mostly undivided attention with him. And he was also a practitioner of transcendental meditation. Not at that point anymore, but for about a decade, he regularly practiced his TM technique, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. Then he took the TM Cities course, which is a higher form of meditation within the TM movement. And then he would practice that whenever possible. And it was very interesting because I had only been practicing TM for about 2 years at that point. But what did I think I was, what? I thought I was the cat's meow. I thought I knew all the answers. And the reason I thought I knew all the answers is because when I first started meditating, I was having inner experiences that other new practitioners were not having. So I would talk to the more senior practitioners who had been doing it 5, 10, 15, 20 years or more, and they would go, I didn't start having those experiences until years of practice. So I thought, well, then I must be a wonder boy. I must have all the answers. I must be the super developed person. But, I'll go to this chiropractic doctor, Ayurvedic doctor. I'll pick up some nuggets from him and it'll be all good. So when him and I were interacting in Boulder, he could see my level of, how should you put this? My level of cockiness, my level of arrogance, my level of immaturity. And I remember we were doing some of the invincibility athletes training on a treadmill because he was giving me nuances to the technique. And he says, we kind of like slowed down the treadmill enough where I could catch my breath, where I could listen to him. And he was about to bestow some wisdom on me because I said something that rubbed him the wrong way. Even though he's a highly developed person, he's done a tremendous amount of service, and he's a very kind person. And he's still putting out content, video blogs, I think, every day, newsletter every week, always updating his website with new products, new services, new offers. Like, the guy is a boss. I remember he said to me, Angela, I'm going to say, he said to me over 16 years ago, he said to me over 16 years ago, he goes, Christian, trust me, 6 figures is not a lot of money. And of course, at that time, I was making like 15 grand a year or something. And he goes, trust me, 6 figures is not that much money. And I was like, who is this guy, right? I just want to hang out with him. And so when we were on the treadmill, he was slowing it down for me. I rubbed him the wrong way with whatever comment that I made. I don't remember what comment it was. And then he said to me, he goes, Christian, you are going to reach a point in your life that you realize life is about service to others. That was it. That's all he said. And it went in one ear and out the other, turned back around, went over my head, out the door. I was like, what is he talking about? I'm about making money, teaching people how to meditate. What is he talking about? I'm about making money, being a personal trainer, service to others. It's like, what do you mean service to others? I was so naive. I was 20 years old? How old was I? 19. God, that was 20 years ago. That was 20 years ago. Yeah. So I was 19. No, I think I was 20. Yeah, it was 19 years ago. And he says, you're going to realize it's about service to others. And I was like, whatever, service to others. Because I didn't understand the significance and the importance of what he was trying to convey to me. Just like some of you who are watching the live stream now and watching the replay, some of you are going to get what I'm saying and immediately apply it into your life and immediately benefit from it and benefit other people's lives. And some of you will get it months later, years later, or maybe not even this lifetime. I'm not speaking that. It just is what it is, right? We're all at different levels of development. We're at different levels of understanding. We're at different levels of receptivity, right? We all have different karma, things we're here to experience. So isn't it interesting that I went from the TM movement into the pranic healing organization, Arhatic Yoga, teachings of Grandmaster Chogo Koksui, which the lineage or path, spiritual path, that we are part of in pranic healing is the path of mercy and compassion and the path of service. So I was in one school, all about me, and this isn't a fault to the TM organization, it's just how I connected and related to the TM organization. Service was not something that was promoted often, right? It was about, I'm going to do my meditation practice. By doing my meditation practice, I radiate love, I radiate peace, I radiate happiness, I radiate oneness, and then that's my service to humanity. So I was like, all right, well, sweet. I'm going to sit down, I'll do my meditation in the morning, radiate peace. I'm going to sit down and do my meditation in the evening. I'm going to radiate peace. I'm out. I've done my service for the day, right? Then you get into something like pranic healing, Arhatic Yoga, and the teachings of Grandmaster Chogo Koksui, the path of compassion and mercy. You're like, whoa, I thought spirituality was just about meditating. I didn't know spirituality was about healing people in the middle of the night. I didn't know spirituality was about running feeding programs, helping out at soup kitchens, tutoring children, helping out with the elderly, building homes for Habitat for Humanity, working at a domestic abuse women's shelter. I didn't know it was all about these things. But through the grace of God and the mercy and compassion of my teacher, little by little by little, over a period of many years, I started practicing more service. The interesting thing is, when you do something because you're paid to do it, that's coming from the solar plexus, right? The center of me, myself, and I. Not bad. We all need it to function in the physical world, to take care of our obligations, to put a roof over our heads, to have transportation, to have money in the bank, to take nice vacations, etc. So self-interest is very, very important, right? But you can't just stop there, right? You can't just have your entire existence be about me, myself, and I. If you look at young children, what are they typically all about? Me, myself, and I. You typically don't see 7, 8, 9-year-olds volunteering at a soup kitchen or a feeding bank or a food bank or, building a house for Habitat Humanity, unless A, that child was born into yogi family or family dedicated to service, or B, that is a very, very developed soul, very developed child, right? So it's actually very, very interesting how the great ones are always organizing our life path of like, this guy Christian, he's got potential. Nathan, Amma Namaste. This guy Christian, he's got potential. He's got some selfish tendencies. Michelle, Amma Namaste. He's got some, he's a little rough around the edges. That's something I've been called over the course of my life from time to time. He's a little rough around the edges. Good heart, but a little rough around the edges. So we're going to put him onto a path that's going to open his heart. Because as you serve other people, what happens? The heart chakra expands. As the heart chakra expands, what happens? the crown becomes more activated. As the crown becomes more activated, what happens? More divine energy comes down into the person's body. Jeanette, namaste. Good to have you on. I missed you for the past few days. The energy comes down, breaks up disease, congested old energies in the aura, old thought forms in the mental body, old emotions in the emotional body, cleanses out the etheric body, and you feel lighter, happier, more joyful, all from what? Doing service and activating your heart. If you remember the story from Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, right? What is that teaching us? Scrooge was very tight with everything in his life. He was tight with his affection. He was tight with his money. He was tight with all of his resources, right? Because of previous hurt, trauma he had as a child. And so he grew up to be a very miserable adult. So he has an opportunity to do what? To give, to provide value, to offer service to others, to open his heart. His heart is open. Guess what? He has more fulfillment, more inner peace, more joy, more everything. Just like we talked about in the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi, it is in the giving that we receive. So if you want to instantly increase your energy level, do service. As pranic healers, we have lots of tools in our toolbox to offer service or to provide service, and we do that through healing. It's like, oh, your child has a what is it called? A flu? Okay, we'll do healing. Oh, your grandmother has lower back pain? Okay, we'll do healing. You have depression and stress? Okay, we'll do healing. You have a job interview and you want to ace it tomorrow? Okay, we'll do healing, right? So we have many, actually infinite opportunities to provide value and service to other people through pranic healing methodologies, tools, techniques, etc. But that's not to say that other religions, other spiritual practices, other schools, you can't provide that, right? You can volunteer at a Goodwill, a Salvation Army, Habitat for Humanity, blood bank. I mean, there's millions of different opportunities to be of value to others and to be of service to other people. So again, I want to encourage each and every one of you, pick up the Golden Lotus Sutra book. This particular one is called Creative Transformation. You can pick it up on Amazon. You can go to uspranichealing.com, like United States, uspranichealing.com. And here's a big one. I'll leave you guys with this. It's a really good chapter on service, but I'll leave you with this. As you do service and as you help, you are entitled to receive help. That principle is so simple, you might miss it. This is how you know if somebody's missing a principle. You guys want to know? Because I've been working with clients for 15 years. This is how you know if a person is missing a principle. You give them they're suffering, right, in some area of your life. You give them the solution, and they don't apply the solution, and the suffering continues. That's how you know they didn't get the lesson. So somebody goes, okay, so if I understand you correctly, this quote says, as you do service and as you help, you are entitled to receive help. Yeah, makes sense. It's clear. It's obvious. It's a self-evident truth. Yeah. And then they put the book down, put it back on the bookshelf, and they go about their life like nothing happened. That is not empowering you. It's a seed, right? It's a little itty-bitty tiny seed planted in your consciousness that, okay, if I want to help, if I want to receive help, I have to help others first. Okay, got it. But until you start applying that into your day-to-day life, it remains a seed. Instead of it's a seed, we germinate it, we give it energy, we practice it in our day-to-day lives, and then we start to experience the fruit of that practice. It's the same thing. In 2020, how many meditation apps are there? How many places you can go to meditate? How many articles have been written by Fortune 500 companies about the importance of meditation in improving overall work satisfaction, stress level management, higher levels of creativity? hundreds, right? Hundreds of research articles have been written about the importance of meditation. But how many people do it on a regular basis? Not that many. We have fitness, same thing, right? Fitness. Everyone knows you exercise more, sleep better, and eat less. That's it. But weight losses, weight gain is on the rise, high blood pressure is on the rise, heart disease is on the rise. Why? Because people are not applying what they know. That's a big thing to be aware of. Just because you know something, throat chakra, right? You pick up the book, you read it, you absorb it into the throat, right? Doesn't mean you're practicing it. Doesn't mean you understand it. Doesn't mean you're embodying the teaching, right? So that would be my encouragement to each and every one of you for 2020 is if you are not serving on a regular basis, and we recommend within Pranic Healing or Hatha Yoga to do 3 hours a week of service, 3 hours a week of service, of giving our time to a nonprofit, to a charity, to some organization or cause that we believe in, 3 hours per week. And by doing that, you're generating good karma, you're helping serve others, improving the lives of other people, you're entitling yourself to be provided for and taken care of and helped when you're in your time of need. And guess what? The heart chakra is expanding. So it's a win when we do service. So I hope that helps. I hope that inspires you. If you would like inner transformation, if you would like assistance with bringing your life from here to here, I have 15 years of experience in doing that with people. You go to my website, ChristianRLong.com. It's my name, this guy right here, ChristianRLong.com, and sign up for a distant healing session. We have a promo that's going on until the 15th of January where you get a tremendous amount of healing for 3 months, and it will transform your life without question. And that's it. Do you guys have any other questions, comments, clarifications, feedback? Because feedback is always important. We take feedback very seriously within Pranic Healing. Because with feedback, we tweak, we change, we modify, we improve, right? So feedback's very important. But highly recommend picking up this book. Teeny tiny book. It's about $12, I think. But the teachings within this book are priceless. You could transform your life. That's why it's called Creative Transformation. You can transform your life with that book. All right. Lag time. Got it. Thank you guys very, very much for your love, for your time, for your support, to adding value to the group. And I look forward to connecting with you very soon. This is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful weekend, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.